Good morning, Taurus. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Taurus, this is a mid-November, right? It's November. Mid-November reading for you, kind of touch base with your energy. I did tell the other signs that I wasn't going to be doing all the other signs all the time like I was trying to before. Pardon my hair. But I've got a little bit of time. So let's do it. Let's see what comes up for you guys. You know, you are opposite of Scorpio. Scorpio is one of my biggest supporters. So maybe even you might be dealing with a Scorpio. Did I even bring that up? I don't know. But you can check out their sign, right? So cross-watching, if that's your thing. So this will be for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus. Cross-watcher, if that is you, looking into Taurus right now, being nosy. No, it's cool. It's all good. You know, flip the roles as it applies, right? Always. All right, Taurus, let's see what's going on mid-November for you. Thank you to everybody who's liked, shared, subscribed, commented, donated to the channel. Personal reads are open and available, and that information can be found in the description box below, as well as the about section of the page. So Taurus, Spirit, you know, there was something that I had heard right before, and I always go to those intuitive messages. So guys, yes, I read the cards. Yes, I talk a lot, right? That's what I'm here to do, is talk. But what I want to say to you, though, is like a lot of the times when I stop, put the decks down, it's because there's something intuitive that's coming in. So I kind of want to just make that clear. Okay. But I had heard like you're looking freshly like yourself again. And I'm not sure how that pertains to something here, but, definitely coming up in the energy as I was getting ready to turn the camera on. So I just, you know, I pay attention to those little things. It's more intuitive than you know, people that just read the cards. I don't understand. I mean, it's helpful, but, to get to the in-depths, not so much. I don't think so anyhow, but no judgment of anybody else on that note. That's their thing, their style. All right, Taurus. So maybe you're freshly looking fabulous. I don't know. Are you feeling fabulous? The number 7 could also be important to you. I'm not quite sure. To me, 7s are about investments, boundaries. Spirit even saying for some of you, you could be dealing with somebody where your lines are being crossed. So boundaries being crossed right now, or attempting to be crossed. So let's just see, Taurus. What's coming up for Taurus mid-November? I don't like the way those started to come out, so let's just continue on here. All right, for Taurus. Spirit just said, what is the sentimental value of something to you, Taurus? So you could be talking about Scorpio. Scorpio is the depths of emotion, right? Like, I don't know that there's any other, you can't make it up. More emotional sign. Card of Virgo comes out, so I would say to you, the way Spirit's bringing this in is to go back to Virgo season. So we were looking at mid-September, right? No. Mid-August to mid-September, Virgo season. What card sits underneath this? Scorpio. You really could be dealing with a Scorpio. Holy shit. Taurus. Behind that, the moon. What do we have on Friday? The Taurus full moon. So Taurus, this moon energy for you could be very, very significant into your partnerships, relationships, the things that you've cultivated. You know, we go back 6 months. For those of you who may not know, when we have a moon cycle that closes out in a particular sign, so in this case, Taurus, that's your sign. You go back to the new moon in Taurus, which was 6 months before during your season. What were you working on? But the thing that Spirit is bringing in, as I spit on myself, oh my God, specifically for you, is going back into Virgo season. Now that is also a quarter turn from Taurus to now Scorpio season. So, you know, you've got a 3-month marker in there. I feel like more so for you, like something possibly started around Taurus full moon or new moon for you. If I could talk today, holy smokes, or cultivate a thought. So something could have started off very good for you, or what you thought was a new fresh beginning. And then somewhere in Virgo season, things got a little iffy, itchy scratchy, not quite sure what was going on, but some of you, Spirit saying, could have been ignoring red flags to business, partnerships, family dynamics, whatever it is for you, right? Insert what part of life this fits for you. That nurture card comes out sideways with that Virgo season being, it's like, what were you denying yourself? What were you refusing to digest? I mean, have you ever like sat down to have a meal And like, you know, I don't know, maybe you've been in a mood where you don't know what the hell it is that you want. You're craving something, you don't know what it is. And then you sit down to eat it and you're like, I'm not feeling it. Like there's something isn't quite right. It's not for me, right? I don't know why we're referring to that as a meal, but we are. But it feels like that. It's like, this could be better. Maybe this chicken is tasteless. I'd rather just not have it at all. It feels to me, Taurus, internally, that something started to kind of show itself to you. Spirit saying once again, surprise, surprise, Taurus, right? Your stubborn energy, your stubborn fixed sign energy there. I think you kind of put all hands into a situation, really trying to make the best, put the best foot forward, if you will. But now, in this culmination of this Taurus full moon, something is really showing itself, and it's like what you weren't quite able to digest, maybe what you didn't see, what you couldn't quite figure out, is now really showing itself at the surface level for you, where it's like you can't really ignore it anymore. And that's kind of what this Taurus full moon is about. Is like between that, Pluto and Aquarius, we've got, is it Uranus is conjunct Taurus or something like that? I can't remember exact, something to that effect. But there's some things going on in the astrology, and it's not allowing us to live under this illusionary energy anymore. Like, you're going to see things that you may not want to see. You're going to have to deal with things you don't want to deal with. And that puts us in an uncomfortable position, right? But it's necessary. So it's like, okay, these things that I've had red flags about for a while, they don't feel so great anymore. So what do I do with that? Do I continue to invest? Do I continue to involve myself? Do I walk away? So a lot of questioning, Taurus, with this full moon. And it's like, it's funny. You could be dealing with something in regards to an Aries as well, because, so, take the bull by the horns, Taurus, right? You are the bull. However, it's giving me the feeling of the ram instead of pushing your way through, like being that very, even more stubborn energy than you already are, right? No offense. As a fixed sign myself, I get it, right? All right, what else for Taurus? What else does Taurus need to know mid-month here? Okay, so Taurus, this is I'm going to tell you, I really feel, I try not to get too much into the love category. And it doesn't have to be love, because partnerships can entail anything, right? Business, sorry, I keep scooting around. But there's a crossing here in regards to third parties. We've got Juno, the partnership card, which is that of 31. And we've got the Gemini card, which is the lover's card in the traditional deck. Cross-pollinating in this particular deck. And then you've got the 3. Third parties, third cycles. What other thing on an external level, right? It doesn't have to be a person. What other thing on the external level is drawing your attention into it? What is it that needs to be resolved? What is it that needs to be handled? Some of you, it's been an invitation to new dynamics, new situations, whether these are maybe another job, another person, and I'm not, what's the word? Championing, third party dynamics if it's in regards to people. But this is also about you closing out a cycle. So somebody or something, a job, a person, again, anything. It's almost like if you're drawn to something, what is it standing for in your life? What does it mean for you? Does it offer you a fresh new beginning or perspective? Now, the other thing I'm going to say to you, and I've noticed this with some of the personals that I've done, let's throw this out there as a third party dynamic. Okay, I think is something that everybody can relate to. If you, let's say that you're in a relationship of some sorts, and you've always had a draw to something else or someplace else or someone else, right? A third party is any circumstance outside of yourself in the situation. And, maybe you're with someone and you want to move and they don't. you're coming to a crossroads, 10 on the clock, that, and 10 with this card, that you need to make a decision, right? It's like either I'm going to let the rest of my life pass me by and I'm never going to make this move because they don't want to make a move. What am I doing for myself? I will also say to you that maybe, you know, I don't know, let's say you live in New York and your initial plan was to move to Florida. And then all of a sudden you're like, I don't want to go to Florida. I don't want to deal with this person. They don't want to go with me. I've had a change in my life course. I'm going to California. Completely 3 different ends of the spectrum, right? All different directions. It's okay to pick new. And the situations and what I've seen in these reads has had a lot to do with us not seeing that it's not we're in this time frame, guys, of it's not the left or the right side of something. It's not the right or the wrong of something. It's not black and white of something. It's to take that third path. So, you know, to take that gray area into the unknown. And Taurus, I kind of feel like this is part of this for you, is what is foundational to you, right? The 4 of what is it that I need to build upon for myself, 11:11 on the clock. Because there is a shift in the dynamic, and don't see it as linear. So we'll even use people as an example, right? Like you're in a relationship with this person, someone else is always drawing itself to you as well, just like a place would, and you're like, okay, like this it grabs at my attention. It may not be bright, shiny, and new, right? That illusionary kind of thing, but and Spirit's saying it's not about being flighty necessarily, but it's like maybe that one thing that you initially did want, person, place, whatever, is not, Spirit's saying it's not available. Okay, so we'll go with that. That the situation you're in, the situation you've wanted, neither one of them are fitting for you. This third party conundrum is not meant for you, but it's meant to make you move. Okay, I hope that's making sense the way I'm trying to explain this to you. It's meant to make you move. It's not white or black. It's the in-between. It's the path. It's taking the road less traveled, Taurus. Excuse me. The communication in a particular situation has failed. You could have also had conversations of invitations, and it's like you could have had these third-party conversations, okay, whatever that means to you. I don't feel like for the majority of you, though, it's actually having a conversation with a person about a situation as much as it is a divine invitation into initiation from the universe. Talk about a mouthful in that one. Lots of eyes. Excuse me, Taurus. Good grief. And as I talk about communication, I start coughing. This may even be a talk, Taurus, that you don't want to have with yourself, right? Like the reality of a situation that's like this, none of this is for me, and shit, you know, like this is not what I expected any of it to be. Some of you could be going into a lonely phase, or what some of you would consider a lonely phase. It's not lonely. It is, it's for self-inspection, self-introspection too. It's like really looking at you. Some of you too, don't be judgmental. I feel like there's a few of you that are maybe looking in the mirror and being very judgy about yourself. I don't know if somebody has said something to you that's made you feel insecure, uncomfortable about the skin that you're in, but you're beautiful. And you know, that what was it that I said in the beginning that Spirit said to me about, like, something like that, right? Something to do with the way you saw yourself, or you're looking freshly renewed, or something to that effect. I can't even remember now. This is your fate. This is your destiny, with this north node sitting at the bottom. I talked about that 7 earlier. There it is. This is your north node. So maybe Taurus, some of you have Taurus in your north node, right? Which is important. That is your destiny. That's where you're headed. So let's see, Taurus. What else for Taurus in mid-November? What else for Taurus in mid-November? First house arrival. You know, I talked about that invitation, right? We get an invitation for something and then we have to show up. We have to, RSVP to it, and then we show up in that. 3, again, this to me feeling like you taking that third path. This is one, Taurus, and where you nurture yourself. This is one where you begin again with that first house and the midhaven. I've seen this midhaven card so very much, and this is kind of like a pinnacle point, like a crescendo. This is where everything starts to change, where you're kind of in between the aboves and the belows. So as above, so below, heaven and hell, if you want to put it that way. But this is forming a sense of independence within yourself as well. So to me, I talked about, you moving into a lonely time. I don't think that it's lonely. I think that Spirit is asking you to realign to things that are far more fitting for you, rather than in the things that you have been invested in for a while. And I do think you are graciously, Spirit is saying, graciously being moved into the next point of your life. It's like you've been in the red zone, and you talk football, the red zone's where you want to be, right? But I also feel like that's also an ending, right? Like, there's an ending coming in that. Like, your football team gets into the red zone, like they're right there, they're ready to score and go and do the thing, and then they turn the ball, back to the other side. This is where you're finding the power and the drive to change the dynamics so that you can begin again. And there's a lot about newness that's coming in, Taurus, and allow that newness to happen for you. Let it do its thing for you without you standing in its way of making those things happen, okay? So again, I hope that's making sense the way I'm explaining this, and I'm going to clarify for you all, what deck do we want to use? Saying Kim Crayons, let's do the thing. All right, Taurus, so there's the overall with those 3 parts of what's going on here. Let's see what else is happening at this time for you, Taurus. The Star and the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Again, going back to the beginning here, something falling short, like you seeing something that's not working, it's not benefiting you, and maybe it's just, plain and simple, not an equal give and take in a particular direction. Taurus, some of you could have invested in something going like at some point, like, fuck it, I've got nothing to lose. And, I think there are times where we do get to that point where it's like, why not give it a try? Because what else is going to happen? What else is going to happen here? Why not try it? Like, it might work out and it might not. And that's taking a risk, right? That's taking a risk to see how things go down. It's taking a risk to see what the possibilities and potential of something lies within another, within that subject. And I think that you took an honest risk on something, whether it's a person, a job, whatever this investment was at one point. And I think that it did serve a good purpose for you. Some of you lessons, some of you finances, some of you building up confidence within yourself. For others of you, it's also like, I think you're seeing it as a disappointment all over again. It's not a disappointment. It's always going to be what you make of it. That 6 of Pentacles once again coming out. 9 of Pentacles on the bottom, I'm telling you. This is, this is like you're going to have to look out for yourself in this, Taurus, and what comes next. It's, I think that it's funny. I just stopped the deck. I'm going to sit this down, and I flipped it over. There's the 6 of Cups. We have to revisit something here, Taurus. We're needing to revisit something. The 6 of Cups, the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, and the 6 of the Harvest, or the Digest and Virgo card. Do you see the similarities of the brush, of the wheat, of the vines? Pretty similar to one another, okay? And I think that's an important factor here as to, and I also said earlier, that's when, Virgo season seems to me to be the time period where all of a sudden there was not a lot of growth happening anymore. You've seen some positive attributes to a situation. Maybe if you were in a job, you've seen a lot of money coming in, you've seen a lot of fertility in these things, and then all of a sudden it's like starts to kind of wean off, and it's like, okay, I've had some growth here, but now it's become a bit burdensome. And I talked about the ram energy, like I felt like it was forcing forward. I think it's interesting. Page of Pentacles. You see the horns down, right? The horns are down, And here again with this first house, there's horns that are now up. They're not defensive anymore. They're starting something new. They're tucking them away, putting them back up where they belong, without feeling like it has to rear its head at a protection or a fight. And I think that that's kind of what Spirit is asking of you here, Taurus, is to like go into a place where you don't have to fight. The World card. This here is coming to a close in the Two of Swords in the reverse. Like you, even if you don't want to admit it to yourself, there is something here that goes, this is not, it has served its purpose. This person has served its, his or her, them, they's purpose. This job has served its purpose. That fun time with that person served this purpose. This space that I go to hang out with friends has served its purpose. I'm not, plain and simple, Taurus, not resonating with it anymore. And I do think that, the blindfold is off. There's some sort of acceptance or at least awareness that is becoming more real within you that goes, would I like this to be for me to some degree? Sure. Is this working out for me? No. You've invested at this point all the energy you needed to. You've gained what you've needed to from this time, season, reason kind of situation. And now it's time to start investing with the Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, into something that is going to be far more illuminating for yourself, somewhere you're going to be very, very happy at in the long run. And that Sun card, Injustice, so Libra and Leo energy here, could be dealing, I don't really feel like you're dealing with a Leo or a Libra. You could be. Some of you could actually have Leo placements, I think, more than anything, even Libra too. But this is about what gives back to you on the same way. The Queen of Pentacles doesn't deal with people or situations that aren't reciprocal. She's going where there is fresh abundance, right? She's going to nurture things. That's the really nice thing I think about the Queen of Pentacles is she's also a nurturer. She had to nurture things to see this harvest and this reward happen. She's had a lot of growth. So this could be growth, Spirit saying, on the spiritual realm, in regards to finances, your own morality in some situations as well. So there's a little bit different. But she is moral and just. So, I do think that you're coming to a period here. As I flip the cards kind of flipped over. There's too many of them, but I'm going to look at this real quick. Going from the Ten of Swords to the Emperor to the Hermit, which is Virgo energy once again. Somebody you're dealing with, I really do think has Virgo placements. The Eight of Cups, walking away from an emotionally disappointing situation. All right. King of Swords, the Lover's card, so Gemini. So you've got heavy Gemini and Virgo energy in this. Gemini's been popping out in a lot of the reads. And again, partnerships, right? That's the duality. It's also showing the duality, not just the partnership aspect, but the duality of situations where it could have been great, maybe not so great anymore. It's, it's showing itself in multiple ways. I do feel like you're going to want to be mindful. If you've been dealing with a person, Taurus, there you come out as the Hierophant sideways, that evades responsibility in situations, and then they kind of come back around. They're not changing. Nothing is changing here. But I also want to say to you, that's become a repeat cycle for you. So look at the jobs, people, places, things that you've dealt with. How do they resemble one another? And has it actually served its purpose? Like, I think it has. I do think this time around, Taurus, there was something a little softer about this experience that did bring in joy. Like, it did bring in some sort of happiness or abundance for you that you got to where you needed to be in those times. So it's like, give gratitude for those experiences with whatever this is for you, and be thankful that it happened as it did. But also at the same time, also know when it's done. It's like when the party's over, everybody's got to go home. You got to leave. And how many times have we all been out? It's like Luke Bryan, right? I don't want this night to end. So I don't know why, but yeah, I don't want this night to end. So it's kind of like with whatever this cycle's been to where it's like, I don't really want this to end, because there has been good times. There have been good times. Even a marriage, right? Like, maybe, hey, we had a good run for 10 years, but we're just not on the same page anymore. You're going this way and I'm going this way, and It's not the same, right? So it's finding the acceptance and just being thankful for the experience and knowing that it's, maybe bittersweet. It's like, maybe some people can be friends with their exes. Other people freaking hate each other. But maybe if this is that kind of situation, hey, I would love to be your friend, but know that this is the new boundary, right? We talked about that 7, those boundaries, moving forward. If it's a job and maybe it's a side hustle for you. I really love this job. In a lot of ways, it's brought me a lot of good things, but this can't be my primary source anymore of like where I was for a while. Just, I don't necessarily, for some of you, not all of you, make that clear, I don't see this completely exiting your life. But it also can't be at the forefront anymore either. Okay? For some of you, though, you do need to call it quits on a particular situation and or person. So let's see, what else for Taurus? And Taurus, it's kind of like you could be seeking answers outside of yourself. I think that it's more about the structure and value with the Hierophant. Aries, Gemini, Virgo, again. That it's been about the lessons, the spiritual lessons that have come in with this, and don't see this as a sense of defeat. I don't know why I'm getting the idea of, Spirit's bringing in the idea of the Emperor upright and the Hierophant sideways, Taurus, that if I bow down and bow out of this, then I'm accepting some sort of defeat. So this could be an ego check for you too. Going, it's okay to make a different choice. It doesn't mean that you failed. It doesn't mean that you lost. It doesn't mean that you've not done your part in something. This was not meant to be on these terms anyhow forever. And again, needing to have acceptance of that. Okay. And I do think that over the next week, I don't even think it's going to take that long, truth be told, from the majority of you. You're going to understand that you're going to make a move that puts you first, that puts the new phase first for you. And that's going to change the dynamic. I think you're instantaneously going to feel lighter by that decision. And it's funny, again, going back to, it's like the things that are at the forefront that are making us uncomfortable. It's the direction in which we're headed. That unknown is not, it's like you don't understand how those two things correlate to each other. We get very caught up and we're taking all of these things with us. Pack lightly, Taurus. Leave the stuff from the past go. Pack lightly and start anew, right? Show up with a casserole. Don't show up with a carload of shit to the party. Okay? Show up to the party with just enough. Bring that casserole. Start new. You don't need to bring all the supplies that everybody else pitch in. And I think that that's part of this too, Taurus, that you gave a lot in a situation and not a lot of people were showing up for the party. Or if they did, they were showing up to eat your casserole and not bring the plates. Okay? So it's time to show up to your own party. Doing it on your terms. Judgment call. Spiritual. This is a spiritual movement, Taurus, for you and the star. Spiritually moving you towards alignment for yourself. And now it's time. It's really time to do that and open up that third eye and that perspective of how your world is going to change and being accepting of it. And that's fine. Like, just do the damn thing, as we say, right? That's the thing these days. 3 of Wands, distancing yourself from a situation. King of Swords, 9 of Swords, Taurus. Oh, golly. So, 3 of Wands. Did I say 3 of Swords or 3 of Wands? I don't know. 3 of Wands, King of Swords, 9 of Swords at the bottom, 7 of Cups. There's still a pull here, Taurus, where it's like, I need to get a different perspective. I don't know how I feel about this. Am I going to be okay? Yes, you're going to be fine. One way or another, you will be fine, no matter what. But you have to create this distance and space. You have to go out and explore the world. There you are with the 9 of Swords, King of Pentacles. Shown up quite a few times in your own reading. I love that for you. So this tells me too, 3 times over, like, you're fully aware. You're fully aware of what is good and what is not good. But there is clarity and insight coming in for you. And I am seeing closer that we get to December, there's a lot more clarity coming in after this difficult period of time. I think I said it in one of the collective readings, and I know I've said it in the Scorpio readings, that like, it was probably a month ago, I said about 3 to 4 weeks, you're going to see a lot of things shifting. And here we are in the middle of that. And that's exactly what's happening. And I do think that clarity is coming in. You could be getting advice too from somebody outside of yourself that has, power and authority to show you how this is going to better benefit you. 10 of Pentacles, the Sun again, Taurus. I think, I'm going to jump to Leo season next year. Like, you're going to be very, very happy with the end result of making these uncomfortable decisions at this point. By next Leo season, it's like, or even spring. I would even go so far as to say spring, when the sun comes out again. And it depends on where you are in the world too, but on my US time frame. By the time that the light comes in, you've got all the confirmation that you need to show why you've made the decisions, why you were feeling so uncomfortable at this time. You're going to look back and go, okay, that shit's in the rearview mirror. I feel so much better about where I'm headed. I see why now. It makes sense. So I do think that something positive is coming in. Now, I said earlier, this person or situation kind of might be like, oh, I don't know that I would use the term come back around, but for some of you, there could be some drama attached to this. I'm just going to be straight with you, because they're looking at you and they're showing up here. As we know, I do not like the Knight of Wands. Showing up with the Knight of Wands, the Ten of Cups. And maybe feeling slighted by you somehow, because you're kind of running off to the sunset, Taurus. And it's almost like they may be codependent on you. So if you're, working for somebody, they may look at you and go, if this is work related, they may look at you and go, you've kind of left me behind. If this is a relationship, you've left me behind. It's like their attachment to you, when you disconnect, makes them feel small. It's like they felt like they had some kind of power or authority or something. Sorry, my ankle's itching. Something significant that you gave them that made them feel like their facade of what they want, like you brushed that up for them. You made that happen. But the only way they feel that way is with you in the driver's seat having to do X, Y, and Z. Without you being in the driver's seat, they feel like they've lost some sort of power or control. These are energy vampires. Really, at the end of the day, these are users. They are people that exploit you in certain ways. And if you thought that this person had the best of intentions, no. Spirit's saying they played the long game. Here's a hard truth, Taurus. Here's a hard truth. They used you. That's tough. That's tough to hear. But they used you for their own gain. So whether this is business, a relationship, a friendship, some type of partnership, they used you potentially in a weak moment, whether this was out of your own fear, your own anger, your own frustrations, your caring ability, which you can be very nurturing when you're in the upright, right? So they saw you as, they were very tactical about how they were coming for you and why they were connecting with you to begin with. It represented a fear within them that they needed to kind of live off of you. You were the parasite's host for a while, really. It's kind of uncomfortable when you look at it that way. And there's that Scorpio me that goes, here's the brash reality. If you break it down to why they showed up or this job showed up, and you took it. Even obviously you had to take the job too, but you gave it a chance. You gave it an opportunity to see how this would play out, and you realized that you were being, undervalued, overworked and undervalued, right? Not getting enough pay, or with a person, it was you putting in the majority to the stuff of the relationship. If it was a friendship, there was something for them to gain in connecting with you. And there's a hard reality. Some of you too, I don't know why I want to say this, but here we go. Spirit, financial gain somehow. Taurus, I'm going to tell you this too. This is a very specific message, and for very, very few of you, but it's going to resonate with somebody out there. If you partnered with somebody, I don't even know if I want to call this a side hustle. Okay. If you partnered with somebody for the sake of money, like they kind of sold you this little, well, hey, you do me this favor, I'll make sure you're taken care of. Taurus, I think you're tired of doing favors. It was manipulation, and I think you're like, I'm just over it. Like, that was maybe a lower vibrational frequency of time for me. I wasn't in the best headspace. I said, fuck it, let's do it. And that's not where you are now. Like, there's been growth for you somewhere in there. So if you're just kind of starting on your spiritual journey, if you were on your spiritual journey and kind of fell off the wagon, if you will, you are now realizing how far off you veered with this person or situation. So it's like Spirit is pulling you back into alignment. They want you to be in alignment. Spirit saying apologies may be necessary. So I don't know how that fits into your world. But it's time to see the sun again, Taurus. And you're being gifted this very vast opportunity to do just that. So roll with that energy. Take that energy. Take that opportunity to disconnect from anybody that has been using you. And I mean, I'm going to be honest. A couple of you could have been using each other. I mean, there's obviously always a benefit for partnerships, right? So it doesn't matter if it's work or love or friends or, we see how what we think at that time is complimenting us, depending on where we are in our vibration, whether it's negative or positively complimenting us to do good or not so great things. So, not judging anybody, right? We don't get here because we got it right. Let's be fair, right? If we don't make mistakes, if we don't screw up, we don't learn the lessons. So, it's okay if you had like a down moment and now you're pulling yourself back up. Get back on the horse and ride, Taurus. Get back on the bull and ride in your case, right? Let that bull buck all he wants to. All right, let's get you all some advice. I feel like I already gave you the advice, but let's do the thing and we're going to wrap this up. All right, Spirit, advice for Taurus. Advice for Taurus, please. Self-indulgence, and I feel like this card is twofold. So, this was indulging into things that, again, like, could have been food, right? Like, it could have been a person. It could have been money. It could have been things that weren't so great. And, I just talked about it basically, right? I should have just put it, like, labeled shadow work. But this card is shadow work, right? So this is where we've been in a lower vibrational space with a situation. We jumped into it at that time, thought it was grandiose, and then realizing, like, that's not who I am. That's not what I want to partake in. That's not for me. Again, 3. I think it's funny. There's 3, or no, there's 4. 4 books here, but there's 3 candles lit. So 3 flames. 3 flames. This, Taurus, this could be a third-party dynamic. I'm going to call it for what it is. But again, third party doesn't necessarily mean cheating, right? It's anything outside of our environment with another person or situation. Like third party, Spirit saying like third parties overlap everything all the time. It's just you deciphering what third party we're talking about here for you. But this advice is like, it is time to put in the work for yourself. This self-indulgence. Go from indulging in these situations that maybe brought out parts of your shadow side to indulging now into a place where you're having respect for yourself. You're having, you're thinking of yourself better, going, this is not where I want to be, this job. Like, maybe you work with people that are just shitheads. at first, like, it was like all good and you really got to know people and see how they operated, right? The new job is always cool until it's not, right? Or the people are not. And I do kind of feel like that's part of this, is like maybe that person was cool and great until it wasn't. This marriage was great until it wasn't. It's just that idea of like this dynamic, even in a low vibe, when we were bumping elbows, it was good until shit, it wasn't, right? So yeah, this is looking back over the past and going, these were Spirit's calling it usable conditions. And again, I feel like for some of you this was like a user kind of dynamic. Okay, all right, Spirit, what else for Taurus advice? Pictures. Okay. Wow, Taurus, what did some of you do? Shit. So pictures. Taurus, I mean, this is gonna run deep because I don't know what some of you are involved in, but this runs pretty heavy even on the emotional scale. Looking at pictures, missing you, nostalgia, make new memories. This, I feel like this is, I'm going to say for some of you, if you were working in a situation and you first went there, maybe the turnover of the people that you were working with has really changed. So like where you started and you were working with maybe really good people, those good people wanted to expand and leave and, do more. So they left. And now the new realm of people that are in that space they're not on that vibrational frequency. You could feel like the vibrational energy has dropped, right? Like it's not feeling as good as it once did. Piss poor attitudes lead to piss poor performance at work, right? So maybe you're dealing with people like that. I don't know. So it's kind of like you're looking back on a situation going, this is not how it started, right? If this is a relationship, again, every new relationship's got the honeymoon, right? Like, yes, this is great. They're lovely. I love this. I love them. I love me. I love life. And then we get to a phase sometimes, Taurus, where 2-3 months down the line, their true colors start to show, or 2 to 3 years down the line, they're not making a commitment to the relationship or, life moving forward. And it's like, why can't we go back to where we were at some point? And Taurus, it's like, again, nobody is going to show up to a date in their pajamas with their hair a mess like I do here on camera, because my hair's always crazy, without their teeth brushed and looking like they're something that just crawled out of the sewer, right? We would never show up to a date like that. We show up at our best, trying to be our best. We're selling ourselves, right? So then once you start to see these inner parts of this person that do show up in like the old cat lady attire, or, Spirit's kind of showing me, Spirit has a sense of humor today, like a big beer belly on a guy, and, I'm not judging anybody, but just like they don't take care of themselves. You're starting to see where they don't have care for things, okay? And I'm going to also say specifically, if you were dealing with a third-party situation and it ultimately interfered in your ability to heal another connection or move past it. If you have ever, I'm going to say it, Taurus, like if you've ever done something wrong that was sabotage to a situation, you're looking back and realizing that, man, I might have really fucked up. This nostalgia and missing you is like, I don't want to be in a place where I'm being literally used by another situation that maybe got the best of me at a low point to continue to do damage, because that is my karma. Taurus, you're having a deep spiritual awakening here if that theme specifically is running through your life. And it's like, maybe, too much damage has been done. You ever see the thing where you throw the plate down and it cracks, right? Shatters. And you can glue it back together, but it's never going to be the same. That brings in that feeling for me, for you, via Spirit. It will never be the same again. But what can I do, if nothing else, within myself to rectify the people that I aligned with that used me And I let them in a way that I didn't want to, in a way I didn't see. Spirit saying because I was hurt. Pay attention to that. Okay? All right. Last bit of advice for Taurus. You cannot make it up. Taurus, you cannot make it up. Talking, interested, you could be connecting, again, new people. It's about damn time. But the card that fell out of the deck is healthy choices, Taurus. Going from this energy to what I said with that clarity, you see that the choices that were made in the past were not of your best interest. They may have been in the moment, right? You had to have that experience. So I'm not knocking any of you. You had to have that experience. But now you get to have a new one. That Taurus full moon is bringing it in hot and heavy for you this week. Self-love, self-care, being happier, loving life. You're going to start to align with people. Some of you, let me clarify because I'm kind of getting a little bit of an iffy energy here on this. I feel like there's a lot of new, more than anything, coming into your life, Taurus. Taurus, reach out to the Tower in reverse. I'm just going to put that because I wasn't anticipating this. The Tower in reverse came out on top of that healthy choices. It's funny, I would typically see the Tower in the sense of holding up a foundation that's faulty. Some of you might do that. I hope not. However, what I'm hearing with this, though, it's almost demonic, Taurus, for some of you. You could have really been aligned to people that at that one time were fucking awful. Like, I mean, abusive, manipulating, callous, I mean, just downright evil. With this Tower in the reverse, I've never seen it like this before. They're still reaching up because they want something from you. Like, you think about it, if the Tower was in the downright position, they're falling away. This is kind of like demons, devils, reaching up, going, please don't let me fall. Without you, I talked about it earlier, without you, I'm not supported here. I need you to do and to accomplish what I'm doing. You're letting them fall away. They're reaching up. They could be begging for your mercy. Fuck that, Taurus. Choose you. Make it, just no. Delete their number, quit that job. Like, whatever you have to do to remove yourself when people are coming in on their knees going, but we were friends and we were this and we were too damn bad. Like, it doesn't even, it feels like you feel bad for these people or this person or this job or this situation, but it's a them problem, Taurus. It's not a you problem. It's a them problem. They've put themselves in that position. They've done whatever they've done to make it the way that it is, and now they're stuck. Are you there to save them, or are you there to save you? Choose you every time, Taurus. Choose you. What comes after that, Scorpio? I see the King of Cups is Scorpio. Most people don't read it that way. But look at this. Riding off into the victory. You're leaving them behind. King of Cups, bringing in love and emotional balance to the situation so you can work with others and create this new partnership. Run to the things that are new, Taurus. Go. Hightail it out of there. In regards to the past, though, with anybody that may have been, I feel there's a lot of disappointment in the past. I'm going to tell you, at one point you had an emperor, empress status with something. It kind of got flipped on its head in a situation. There was probably a lot of disappointment in that, but it was fucking a powerful situation. There's truth around that coming out. There's a sense of victory in that. Can't make it up. Hold on a second. I'm going to show you this in a second that just came out of the deck. How did we connect with that person? I think anybody, if like I said about this dynamic, like if you or working with this person to, in a lower vibrational energy, I feel like you're kind of contemplating whether or not you ever want to make amends with something. I do feel like there's a need to heal, but I also see silence. So it's like, dare I go there? Like, do I really want to go there, or am I just going to leave like dead dogs lie kind of thing? Is that how you say it? I have no idea. But yeah, like, I think you're going to work through some emotions on that. I think April, maybe your season, might be a point where you kind of review that for one last final time and make a decision on what you're going to do there. But this period of rest, but knowing that you, regardless of what you do when it comes to other people, you have to do better. Okay? Now, I said about these people in the tower reaching up to you, asking for your assistance. Look what came flying out of the deck right on top of that. Those two people are sitting there begging for you to help them. You can't make it up. You cannot make it up. Before, Taurus, they were depleting you with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. They were taking from you, and now they're begging for you to help them. Leave them on their knees. Let them alone. Don't touch them. Don't deal with them. No. It's breadcrumbs. Just let it go. And I almost feel like, too, for some of you, you're like, well, I can't do that today, maybe tomorrow. Like, you start to kind of really pull your energy back and, like, disconnect. Just fucking put it to bed, Taurus. Just be done. Cold turkey that shit. I'm done. No more. Okay? There's your advice. Cold turkey. Cold turkey. All right. Taurus, I'm sending you all so much love. I'm so glad that I got to sit down and do this video for you. I hope that it resonated. Hope that it helped. Like, share, subscribe, comment. And if you're interested in a personal read, that information can be found in the description box below. Channel memberships are also open. And I look forward to seeing you all again, hopefully soon. I'm sending you all so much love. Take care of yourselves, and happy full moon to you.